Alright guys, so I want us to talk about the theme for HLUB this coming July, which is the supremacy of Christ, and the text is from Colossians chapter 1 verse 15 through 20, and I like to read that quickly to us, and then I like for you guys to kind of tease that out and help our audience to, I guess, try to see what we mean by that, alright? Here's what it says. It says, He is the image of the invisible God, referring to Jesus himself, okay? The firstborn over all creation. For by him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities. All things were created by him and for him. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. And he is the head of the body, the church. He is the beginning and the firstborn from among the dead, so that in everything he might have the supremacy. For God was pleased to have all his fullness dwell in him, and through him to reconcile to himself all things, whether things on earth or things in heaven, by making peace through his blood shed on the cross. Now, let's start with Pastor McYoung first. Can you help tease that out for us?
Yeah, I think the first thing that really caught my attention was that Christ, he is the image of the invisible God. And that really brings me to that Hebrews 1 text. It says, he is the radiance, right? He is the imprint of God. So really, if we want to know God, then we need to know Christ. That Christ is God. It is John 1:1, right? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So if Christ is the image of God, but Christ is God, then he is ultimate. He is supreme. Right? He is worthy of our praise. He is worthy of our exaltation. And so I think that piece is crucial for us to understand.
So if we want to know God, we have to get to know Jesus.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If we want to see God, take a look at Jesus. If we want to see the glory of God, well, take a look at Jesus again, right?
Yeah, essential. Yeah.
Okay. Pastor Jacob?
Yeah, just continue where Sim McYoung just was. And that is that simply because Christ is God, he is God in the flesh. Because he is God by nature, he is supreme. And that, in contrast to who we are, we're creatures. We're part of the creation, who was created, which was created by the Creator. And so the Creator is supreme, God is supreme. Right? But from the text here, also in Colossians 1:16 here, that all things were created by him, who is Christ, and for him. So he stands above all things. He created all things, but all things were created for him. And so he stands above all things, and therefore he has supremacy, right? So I think that's critically important for us to understand those truths right there. But I think let's pass it on over here to Pastor Dow and just have him kind of wrap us up here or something.
I would simply add that the scripture here clearly proclaims that the supremacy of Christ is not relative. He is supreme whether you and I like it or not. Supreme over all of creation. Supreme over us in our personal lives and how we ought to live our lives with Christ at the center. He is the center of the gospel, the reason why we proclaim the gospel. And I think if we have a proper understanding of that, it not only enriches our lives, but it empowers us to live out the gospel.
Anything else to add?
Well, let me just add one last thing that I forgot to say.
Yeah.
And that is that Christ ultimately, we shouldn't have forgotten to say this because this is supremely important, is the fact that Christ is supreme because he is the only one, the only agent of redemption, right? That we are saved only because of him. Right? Without him, we are not saved. So for that reason, he is supreme, because there is no other name, right, by which we can be saved, except for Christ himself. So he's supreme, because he saves us. He reconciles us to God. He brings us to God.
So Christ is the way, the truth, and the life.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was very helpful, guys. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I'm sure our audience appreciates it as well.